Hey guys, Ferno the Knight here, bringing you another Redstone Tutorials, and the next chapter of it, which is transportation. Um, First off, I'd like to apologize if you're accustomed to background music and if you've been watching the Redstone Tutorials from the very beginning, and you come across this chapter, and there is no background music, well, it's easily explained. Freedom has been doing this weird thing where I can't with their music, so I don't feel like I can use their music anymore. Although they just opened up a new music thing, so I might have to check it out. For whatever reason, I'm not properly citating my music or whatnot, but they keep doing this weird copyright thing. It's not a copyright strike, but they do this little copyright notice on my videos, and it makes me nervous. So I'm not using their music anymore as of right now. So I'm looking for some free music that I can use that for my videos that won't give me any copyright strikes. So that Freedom just opened up a new music thing, so I might be able to use it. I'm gonna have to read it and thoroughly look at it and see about it. But so there might be background music for the next tutorial. But anyhow, so in this tutorial we're gonna cover transportation. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So first off, the main use of transportation, hang on, time set 0, um, is using minecarts. You can use boats and you can use horses, but the only thing that involves redstone is minecarts. So first things first, you need a track for the minecart. So here's the recipe for a rail system. I know I've gone over these recipes before, but because we're going to go over them again. A simple rail makes 16. This recipe makes 16 rails, just normal rails. So that's why I have 16 laid out. I have them laid out by 6, so that explains why they're uneven. But well, like this one's not finished. But anyhow, so if you put normal rails next to each other in such a way that they'll create a turn. And I'm sorry I'm going through a little small lag spike, but yeah, let me just grab some simple rails to show you. So if you can go straight and they'll connect, and if you want to connect them go in a different direction, you just put one and it automatically makes a turn. And one thing that's interesting about a turn is that you can also put like a lever. Let's say you got a track going this way. You can also put a lever down, flip it, and it will change the direction of the lever is facing. So you can literally change which direction the minecart's going. So that's pretty fascinating, in my opinion. Now I don't know if you can. I don't usually experiment enough with transportation, so I don't know if you can use other redstone signals, such as like using a redstone torch underneath or something. I probably can't do it here because of it's sand, but regardless, let's move on. Next up, we've got a recipe for a detector rail. So you use iron on each side, just like the basic recipe, but you put some redstone on the bottom and then a pressure plate in the center, and you get 6 detector rails. I'll show you what those are used for later. Next up, we've got power rails. You replace the iron with gold, use the same recipe as for that, but put redstone at the very bottom, and you get 6 power rails. Again, I'll explain what they do later. I'm just going over the recipes right now. And then next up, we've got activating rails, which is a little more, I guess is the most complex of the 4 rail recipes because of the fact that all blocks are used. But you put iron on either side, sticks in the top and bottom, and then a redstone torch in the center to make the detector rail. Now over here we've got what is a normal minecart. Basically, you just put iron, make a U out of it, or an upside down helmet, and you get a minecart. And what you can do with these minecarts is you can also add on, so you can get a TNT minecart by putting a minecart at the bottom and put a TNT in block, so you get a TNT minecart. You can also put a furnace and get a furnace minecart. And you can also get a chest minecart. There's also a hopper minecart, which is the same recipe as all these. I don't have it laid out, but you can also put a you can also put a hopper in a minecart as well. Minecarts are relatively simple. You can just push them, and they just go a certain number of blocks for one push. You can also enter them, and if you press the key to move, you can go at a slow speed. And I just got derailed, so let me see if I can push it back on the rail. Alright, and you can go at a relatively slow speed. You can't go too fast. But regardless, that's pretty much what all the simple rail is. It's just directional, because without the rails, the minecarts really go lopsided. You have to push them, but they don't go the direction you want them to. The rails are their guide. Next up, we've got the power rails. Power rails by themselves act as brakes. You can use, if you just lay them down, if you push the minecart, it just stops. You have to constantly push to keep it going, and if you enter it hardly moves when you press W, and it has no drag. So when the power rails are off, it acts like a brake. But when you put a redstone torch next to them, or any kind of redstone signal, you will turn on the power rails, and the power rails will activate. And therefore, if you push a minecart to it, it goes at its fastest speed. So, and same with when you enter a minecart and press W. If you enter a minecart, press W, you go at max speed. And I just hit the non-power rails, so it braked at the end. So yeah, you can use power rails to basically make your minecarts automatic, so you don't have to push them or press W all the time to get them moving, or whatever your movement key is. Next up, we've got the activator rail. Again, when it's turned off, it's like power rails. When it's turned off, it does nothing. And I'm going to use this TNT minecart to show an example. But what a TNT minecart does is basically it'll explode when it's given a redstone signal. So if we push this over the activating rail, it just does nothing. It acts like a regular rail. So TNT against a regular minecart going across some activator rail won't really do much. It'll act like a normal rail. But if you put a redstone signal to the activator rail, it will activate the TNT. Basically, the activator rail will become charged, and that explosion was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So, let me go ahead and replace the redstone here. Whoopsies. That was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting like a creeper size explosion. Instead of I got it like a mega creeper size explosion. Okay. So yeah, that's what activator rails do. They basically act as a redstone signal for certain rails. For certain minecarts, I mean. Next up, we've got the detector rail. And actually, I have an example. As you can see, this power rail is activated without a redstone torch or any other signal. That's because I got a detector rail underneath this minecart. The detector rail acts like a pressure plate, except it doesn't activate when an entity is pushed on it. It only activates when a minecart is laid on top of it. So if you put a minecart here, it turns on. So you can use these to like automate your your power rails, so you don't have to have redstone torches everywhere. You can just put one here and then a couple power rails, and you're good. The thing is, because it acts like a pressure plate, it's probably advised that you do not put like more than a few power rails over it, because like if you put like 6, it won't work, because it would turn off when the minecart's still on top of the power rail, and you'll get a brake effect. So it'll go faster, but then it'll break at the very end. So you probably should put like 2 or 3 after the pressure plate. You mean the detector rail. And over here, and I should probably also replace this, but over here I got this set up because you can also put a power rail. You can also set a detector rail to redstone signals. As you can see, the redstone wire is connected, and it goes all the way to the glowstone. So if I push this just a little bit, it should go all the way to the end, and it turns on the redstone. And another thing, I didn't have this set up, and it just occurred to me just as I was started this. So hang on, let me grab some tracks and lengthen this rail a bit. But another cool feature of one of the rails is that you can actually automate the minecarts to go on their own. Certain minecarts do certain things, so like TNT blows up, this one acts like a portable storage unit. But the furnace one, if I place it down and I place a minecart right here, let me grab some coal. We'll grab 6 for now. I can actually right click with the coal, and I apparently have put some coal into the furnace, and it makes the minecart go. So the minecart can actually power itself to go without need be of power rails and whatnot. So I can actually make this kind of like a train, except I think I can only push one minecart at a time. So if I was to set this up with like probably like 3 minecarts, I'd put a furnace thing here, and oh, what do you know, I got all of them to go. But yeah, so if you can get a furnace, you can also use the furnace minecart to like automate and make kind of like a train effect go on. So yeah, that's pretty cool. What is the limit to this? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll try 7. See if that still pushes it. Oh my gosh, it's still pushing it. Granted, they don't stay linked together, but oh my goodness, it's still pushing. It's very resilient. Well, there you go, guys. The furnace minecart. Apparently, if you give it some coal, it's gonna go. I have no idea for how long. I think until the coal burns out. So I guess whatever time it takes for coal to burn out. But anyway, guys, I think that would probably be it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. If you have any advice if you have any advice or anything you'd like to say about this Redstone Tutorials chapter, please also leave that in the comments below. And if you have anything you want me to show for any future Redstone chapters, I'll be sure to I'll also leave them in the comments below, and I can try to get to them as much as possible. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later in the next chapter, which I think might be covering redstone clocks. I don't remember. We're just going to have to see. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.